What is up, everyone, and welcome back to City Skylines. Now before we start, a lot of people seem to like the format, the new one. I personally like making it like this. It's very cool and very creative. So I'll continue to do that within this episode and future episodes. First off, somebody left a very interesting comment. I'd like to thank that person. I think it's Evans. I'll put it in the screen. The comment basically said that the turns in the railway are way too tight. I have looked at railway turns, and he had a good point, a reasonable point. So what you'll first see me do is edit these turn circles. So please, if you see something wrong with my city and you think, well, Wayne, that's not really correct, please let me know, and I'll improve my city, and I'll thank you for it. So thank you, and hopefully you enjoy. So here we can see me first flattening out the area around here and making space for that bend to come in a lot more. I believe I moved the station. I think I needed more space to make that proper angle turn. And yeah, in the end, I think it looked a lot better. It looked a lot more realistic. And of course, I had to get that. I took quite a bit of space, but a space that made sense. Trying to do this U thing wasn't easy because instead of a U, it ended up being like almost a G, or almost ridiculous shape. But I think the longer I made those angles, the better it was. And here you see me still fiddling around with how to make these the perfect. And I think I settled with this shape, and the shape worked as well. And then I had to fix all the stations and made sure they added up again. And again, I think it looked very cool. I think it looked a lot better. I then went around and looked at other bends similar with a similar problem and basically edited them accordingly. So, after building or correcting the railway system, it was time to connect the railway up to the main outside line. This required a central station. So I downloaded this asset from the workshop and went to town. Pretty much, I built this curved little road and then a main road in the middle of that section. And this is where I kind of wanted the hub to be of the sort of, I wouldn't say transport hub, almost transport hub. It was meant to be the place where everything comes together. The buses, because the asset is really good because it has a bus in the back and even a metro underground. I also added a bus station up front. These are the city buses maybe. I wasn't too sure, but we'll see later when we play around with more transport options. Here I was looking for perfect parks that would fit within these areas, and kind of filling the blanks with the commercial. I figured, these places need shops, why not put shops down? Of course, car parks as well. This allows for people to park their car and take the train somewhere and come back without them having to worry about leaving their car behind. I kind of wanted to make this feel realistic, make everything have a reason, have a story to it. And here you see me just looking for that perfect amount, a little bit of foliage that can fill in the little gaps.
This is what it is, okay? I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Next up was populating the area. As soon as we built this hub where people would go and come from, it was time to build a place for people to live near the station. So it's usually in the cities, it's very popular next to the station because it means easier access to outside of the city. Also, I needed a lot of filler. There's a lot missing, so I felt there was need more space. And again, there was always demand for it, so might as well. I thought this was really cool, this little area for apartment buildings. So I leveled it all out, added like a tier layer system so that we have one lower ground level and another level that's a little bit higher. And I think it almost matches out with the commercial district further on. This gives the city a bit more edge, a bit more creativity to it, and sort of, I wouldn't say San Francisco style, but sort of that like up and down, which is gives the city a way more interesting view. Here I'm trying to think of ways to connect up this road, and I make a connection off to the main transport road that goes directly to the station. Here I follow the same sort of pattern. That's why you see me mapping out these little parks at the parking lot. I believe this is high density, so I don't want to put too many houses close together, but this sort of puts a space in between the two rows and then gives it a little bushes and parking lot. And also it satisfies people because they like having parks, and this sort of satisfies that park need. I smoothed the curve a little bit. It looked a little bit too rough, and I got rid of the trees there, so it kind of makes more sense because you wouldn't leave trees on a sort of hill angle. And so here I continue that pattern and sort of look where I can fit it best and sort of see what looks the best, I think. And the Unity kind of, I don't know, it puts it together and makes it look really nice. So after constructing the apartment building, or the apartment district, I felt there was a big gap that was sort of needing something. I wasn't too sure what. I don't know what I wanted to build here yet. So I was kind of thinking, oh, what if we have this cool little thing? And pretty much what I ended up deciding to do was to build this very cool office building. I thought we need a little bit of a high-rise. We're eventually going to build more high-rises, but I figured for now this should be, you know, a little bit more, it'll introduce the high-rise into the city, and that's what I decided to do here. So here I was looking for what building to pick. There's a lot of options, and then I ended up picking the Colossus building, which I think you get for free. It's like a little asset thing made by the guys who created the game. And I thought that looked very cool. It's very colorful, it's very pretty. And then there were still a lot of gaps, so I filled those gaps by adding a lot of commercial.